Hello everyone, welcome to the IMPRINT Explained. And today we're looking at a current affairs topic, that is what is OPEC Plus and why is it in news? The reason is that Donald Trump recently brokered a deal, and OPEC and its allies are working on an unprecedented 10% reduction in global oil production, right? So let's start. Okay, so this is the article from the Hindu yesterday, right? So the Brent has surged past $33 on a output deal hope, right? So what has happened? So the Brent crude oil futures, it has climbed up as much as for $34.91 a barrel, and this happened on Friday, and it raised obviously hopes of a new deal to cut global supply. Right. So the question would be, what is OPEC? What is Brent crude? What is this US West Texas Intermediate, right? Which has now obviously also rose, right? $27.55, 24% jump, which is the highest ever in some ways. Okay. So what actually happened was the fact that Donald Trump spoke with Vladimir Putin and with Saudi Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and they actually, Russia and Saudi Arabia have been fighting about the oil production a bit, and we'll go into details a little later in the slides. So what has happened is that now both of them agreed to reduction of supplies by 10 to 12 to 15 million barrels per day, right? And overall the supply is 100 million barrels per day, right? USA on the other hand said that we didn't make any concessions. Remember, OPEC plus, Russia and Saudi Arabia belong to OPEC plus, but United States do not. Okay, so this is the basic idea behind this. Let's move ahead. So OPEC है क्या? Now question आता है, OPEC क्या है, OPEC plus क्या है, right? So organization of the petroleum exporting countries, intergovernmental organization है 14 nations की, 14 सितंबर 1960 में बनी थी बगदाद में. So it was formed on 14 September 1960. And who were the original members? So sometimes there's an objective which comes, who were the original members? Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and Venezuela. And this is headquartered in Vienna. Very interesting. OPEC was formed in Baghdad but headquartered in Vienna, right? So kind of weird. So currently, who are the members? So I think it's best to remember them alphabetically. So Algeria, this is in Africa. Angola, again in Africa. Equatorial Guinea, again in Africa. Gabon in Africa. So the first four countries, if you think, are in Africa. Then obviously Libya and Nigeria are in Africa. So okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are in Africa, and 7. It is Republic of Congo, also in Africa. So how many of them in Africa? 7 countries from Africa. Very interesting. Okay, then there is Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, obviously the founding members. Saudi Arabia, right? UAE is a member, and Venezuela is a member. Okay, so remember, Saudi Arabia is a de facto leader. So a lot of other countries were a part, like Ecuador, Indonesia, Qatar, and they feel that Saudi Arabia maybe rubs them the wrong way, or the fee that they charge as membership fee is very large, and they aren't producing that large. So if you ask them to produce less, obviously it's a problem because they follow a quota system. It's a cartel. So very interestingly, this is a cartel which is protected by sovereign immunity. So in addition, now question becomes, what is OPEC plus? So what happened was that there are other producers. So there is Russia, Azerbaijan, Mexico, Sudan and South Sudan, Kazakhstan, Bahrain, which is also a Gulf state, Brunei, Malaysia and Oman, right? So what can actually be asked is, sometimes they'll put an objective type Oman and Bahrain inside OPEC, but it is not in OPEC, it is under OPEC plus, right? So what has happened is 10 more oil exporting countries are grouped as OPEC plus cartel from the year 2016. Why? Because they actually cooperate in fixing the global oil prices by agreeing to production quotas. So idea is, let's say I'm producing 100 million barrels this year, right? So let's say if I reduce it by 90, what will happen with, let's say this is the price of crude oil is at $60. So if I reduce it, what will happen? It will reach 70. If I increase this to 110, what will happen? This might come down to 45 or 50. So there's obviously demand supply thing. So price, अगर आप मैं production बढ़ा दूंगा, supply बढ़ा दूंगा, तो demand कम हो जाएगी. ठीक है ना? That is the basic idea. Now, what was this overall 2020 रशिया सऊदी ऑयल प्राइस वॉर? सो हुआ क्या, 8 मार्च को सऊदी अरेबिया ने इनिशिएट की प्राइस वॉर. कैसे की? इसने प्राइस डिस्काउंट कर दिए $6 से $8 पर बैरल टू कस्टमर्स इन यूरोप, एशिया एंड यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स बिकॉज ऑफ ऑब्वियसली कोविड. नाउ इससे क्या हुआ, ट्रिगर हो गया एक टाइप का फ्री फॉल. यूएस प्राइसेस फेल बाय 34%, crude basically 26%, Brent by 24%. ठीक है ना? So just to try to understand, US का Texas intermediate है, right? Dubai oil है, right? Which is looking at the crude. Brent oil is not from North Sea, right? तो difference क्या है? Sweet oil है, US से और Brent oil is sweeter and lighter. जो Dubai oil है उसमें sulfur content ज्यादा होता है. Right. So oil prices had already fallen 30% since the year because of a drop in demand, and the reason obviously is that of COVID. But what happened was this price war triggered a global stock market crash because everybody is expecting a recession because everybody looking at commodity prices of oil. So as demand continued to fall dramatically, 17-year low था हमारा मार्च 18 को 24.72 बैरल, राइट. और अगर आप टेक्सास इंटरमीडिएट लेते हो फ्रॉम यूएस से तो 20.48, तो बहुत ही कम प्राइस पे मिल रहा था. आई थिंक व्हाट हैपेंड वाज इंडियन ऑयल सब लोग पहुंच गए, रिलायंस वगैरह वाले, उन्होंने फ्यूचर खरीद रहे हैं $20 पे, and I think they will reap the benefits when the production again in the year, right, when the demand goes up. Now US president, as I said, reduction उन्होंने बोला कि they claim that 10 से 15 million reduction possible है, और रशिया और सऊदी अरेबिया में he has basically brokered the peace. Now what happened, 2nd April को 25% US oil price increase है, Brent increased to $32, right, on 3rd April. Right, so this is the whole story, right? Now let's look at a couple of questions, right? So what kind of questions I would ask? Obviously, first question I would ask about, let's say I'll make an objective type on former members. So which are the former members? Remember, Ecuador. What are the former members? What do you say? So Ecuador, Indonesia, and Qatar. So what do? I put them in the objective type, right? That is one thing. So that's the first thing you look, right? So the question is, which of the following countries are not a part of the OPEC? So Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Libya, Nigeria, and Russia. Now we should know that Bahrain and Russia are OPEC plus. This is OPEC plus and this is OPEC plus, right? Saudi Arabia obviously is a founding member, so that's fine. So 2 has to be the answer everywhere. So 2 is given. So D goes. Now Libya we know is a part. So 3 also is there. So again, this can be true. Now this goes. Now the only question comes is Bahrain or Nigeria. So obviously we know Nigeria is. So right, you take answer. Answer is B. Now, but a lot of you will be tempted by Bahrain. Why? Because you think Gulf state है, OPEC का part हो गई, right? तो guess करना is a very dangerous thing. I would always advise, याद करो, practice a few questions, think, make a few questions rather than actually just trying to remember stuff or guessing, especially. Okay, thank you so much for listening. Do like and subscribe. It's a very short video, right? If you need a PDF of this video, do join our Telegram group. Do subscribe. Thank you so much for listening.